You've been playing the game wrong this entire time. The talent is not enough. Systems, that's the ultimate leverage. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Man, I know it's been a while since I've been here to be able to share with you, but I got something that I wanted to pull together today, and I know it's going to help you because it has surely blessed me. I hope you're doing well on this day. If you are here watching live, just put live down in the comments. If you are watching this as a replay, feel free to put replay. I'm going to be sharing with you today some things, and let me kind of set the stage of why I'm sharing this. One, it's because there's only but a few weeks left in the year, and two, there are some things that, whether we want to admit it or not, are impacting our ability to be able to live the quality of life that we so desperately not only just want, but we deserve. Right. And so I want to talk to you today and just share with you something that I noticed. And I'm not trying to, I am breaking through this mental model so that I can begin to embrace what I'm about to share with you now. Listen, you could choose to not listen to this, or you could say, you know what, maybe he's um talking from a different place, and that's fine. But listen, if you're on here right now live, just say hello. I want to say hello back to you, but I'm about to share with you something that is really important. Let's just get this out of the way first of all. If you haven't recognized by now that being broke doesn't help us, we can't just stick our heads in the sand of our financial lives and think things at some point will get better. It won't. I want to share with you a few stats that I saw recently that was like mind blowing to me. Number one, according to bankrate.com, um, the home ownership rate among adults 25 to 34 has declined. Listen to me, 45%. 45%. And this was as of 2021. The number of first-time home buyers declined 22% in 2022. That's the lowest since the National Association of Realtors began tracking this data. Okay? Now you might be going, well, what does that have to do with anything? Let's just for a second stop and think about why is it that people are not buying homes right now? Like, and this ain't that hard, right? And I'm not making a trick question, but just think about it for a second. What's the reason that today people are just not interested or cannot buy a home right now? And the word I would use is affordability, right? Interest rates and everything else. But there's another portion of this that I believe is a problem, and I'm hoping that we all take serious inventory of the way we go about doing things, right? The way we go about looking at our financial picture. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, my financial picture got shattered after a layoff. My financial picture got shattered after I saw what I'm about to share with you. My financial picture improved as I started to understand what I should be doing differently. Okay. So I'm gonna just share this with you. So first of all, that was according to bankrate.com. The home ownership has gone down sharply. It's because it's about affordability. Now, I saw this really cool commercial by Coinbase, and they go through they start like in the 1970s, and it says, go to school, get a degree, get a job, buy a home. And they did it from 1970, 1980, 1990. And then when it got to 2000, it said, go to school, get a degree, get a job, find roommates, um, buy a home, or get a loan from parents and friends, then buy a home. Like, and then at the end of the commercial, it says, the system is broken. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, whether we like to admit it or not, the system is broken. It's broken. It's broken. Affording a home is starting to become even further reach, not just for new home buyers, but the people who actually have one. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it costs a lot more just to live every day. Because of inflation and the way things have turned out, it costs you an extra $700 a month that is walking out of your door because the price of everything has gone up. An extra $700. Now, a few years ago, there was a stat that showed a $400 mishap financially in most people's home would totally disrupt their financial picture right now. Now we're talking about 700 extra dollars. And so here's the thing that I want us to all think about, okay? Number one, I realize that for many of us, the struggle with the struggle with why things can be frustrating right now financially has less to do with what's going on and more to do with the fact that it is requiring all of us to individually have to make certain decisions. And I'm gonna say what I realize is causing us to have to actually change our models that we thought and grew up with and that's been ingrained in us about earning money. That's what it's done. The real frustration is not the fact that you've been at that job for 15, 17, 18, 20 some odd years. The frustration is you were sold 30 years ago a way to either retire or how things were supposed to be by the time you got to where you are today, and it's not that way. That's what's frustrating. The idea that we believed for all of our lives is why we're frustrated. It's not really the job. Like some people say, "Oh, well, I quit the job because they wasn't paying enough." No, you probably quit the job because people got hard, right? Like it's a people problem and it's a financial problem, right? And so what's happening is for many of us, we are realizing that the game or the way that I was sold, the way I'm wired to believe that a job or making money was supposed to be is not that way. And so that's where the frustration lies. So here's why I say your talent is not what we should be relying on because we can't rely on that anymore. You should be talented. You should be gaining a skill. I'm not saying don't gain skills. We all need skills. You can't do anything without skills. Can't earn money without a skill. But I think there's something that we need to start focusing on if we want to make sure that our financial picture is healthier, right? I'm about to break down something that I have found that has it's forced me to change, but it's also given me the greatest opportunity to see life from a different lens, right? Most of us focus on our talent, right? Oh, I got this talent. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. I can do this. I'm a project manager. I'm a financial accountant. I'm a bookkeeper. I'm an engineer, right? Like we just focus on that. But here's the thing that most people don't talk about that I started to have to wrestle with probably about 5 or 6 years ago. While I was trying to get my talent employed, which is really what you do when you go get a job, I was so busy saying, where can I work? Where can I deploy my talent to earn income? While I was so busy trying to deploy my talent so that I could trade my time for money, what I never stopped to, well, it took me a while, but what I finally started to realize was what I should have been doing also at the same time was plugging into a system. I've been on this system thing lately, and I realized that that's the difference between being frustrated about your financial life and feeling like you have no options to seeing the abundance of opportunities when you realize you've been playing the game wrong this entire time, right? So I'll explain. When we were taught in school, like that commercial from Coinbase, right? Go check it out. Go just go Google The system is broken, Coinbase, and you'll on YouTube and you'll see these commercials. I think they're absolutely cool, but they're tackling a real problem, right? So it's because when we grew up, we were told, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everything that we wanted to be was a doctor, a lawyer, a fireman, or whatever, right? We got older and then we started working at a fast food joint when we became a teenager and we started earning money. And we liked that because as a teenager, $500 every 2 weeks is a lot of money as a teenager. It ain't a whole lot as you become an adult. It ain't a whole lot when you get your first apartment. It ain't a whole lot when you finally got to pay for that car every month. It ain't a whole lot when you got to pay for the lights, the heat, all of that other stuff, right? Like that's not a lot as an adult, but as a child, it seems cool. So we got roped into this idea that, well, all I got to do is deploy my talent and keep trading my time for money, and I'm good. And you became an adult with some children and some lifestyle and a zip code and loans, school loans, bank loans for mortgage, like all the stuff happened, and then we're frustrated financially. But what we never stop to realize is, oh, it's not. It's very little to do with I need to go get a better job, and a lot of times it is. Sometimes you just need to go apply for a job that pays you more. That's all. And learn while you're on the job or acquire the skill so that when you apply, you can improve it and become better. There's that version, which I think a lot of people sometimes need to do. But there's another thing to stop and realize, like I am 40 and I am having the most interesting revelation about the fact that what you really need is you need to plug into systems. Listen, y'all, here's the thing that I have realized. As talented as I am, as many people as I know, as I can, there's so many things I could do. The talent is not enough because what most people don't want you to realize is that they just want you to play in their system instead of you creating your own ecosystem of a system that you run, or plugging into a system that allows you to not have to just solely work on use your talents, but being able to leverage a system to earn money instead of just trading your time for money. All right. So let me give you the 3 reasons why I believe a system is much better than solely relying on your talent. Okay. I'm gonna give you my 3 reasons why. Number one, consistency and scalability. When you go to work every day and trade your time for money, you signed an agreement, and that agreement basically said between you, it's the contract between you and your employer. You work this many hours, whether you're hourly or salary doesn't matter. You work this many hours, you get paid this much, right? And the only way to move up in that game is you either apply for a higher role, right? Um, or you stay where you are, right? Some people make lateral moves, and while the environment was better, you didn't make any money, extra money, right? So, so the problem is you're only you, and you're the only person with your talent, but there's only 24 hours in a day. You can't scale that, right? And the other thing is, can we be honest? Don't you get tired at work? Like, don't you get tired of doing the same thing all the time at work? Some of us, there's all the you see it on social media all the time, right? People post, "Oh, I've got to go to work today," and they're upset. And there's a little bit of truth to that. While they're joking and playing, the truth is, sitting in traffic for an hour and a half, like in my city, especially, if you don't want to sit in traffic for probably about an hour and a half just to make it downtown, you got to ride the express lane. Well, just to drive the express lane is an extra $25 going down and $25 coming back home. So you're spending money to drive to work, then parking a deck that costs you maybe $350 to $400 a month, right? Like when you start adding up the cost of trading your time for money, it costs you more just to go, right? And again, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Disclaimer: I am not saying don't have a job. I'm not that dude. You need to work your job. But my point is you need to understand the game you're playing. That's the point. You need to be very well aware of the type of game that you're playing. And in that game, in the employment game, You are working within a system that controls your financial future. How do I know? If today you got laid off or you got fired or you walked away, all of every dollar that you were making will be gone, right? Like it won't exist anymore. There will be no more money. You don't control the financial levers of that. So my point is, reason number one is consistency and scalability. Systems allow for you to be consistent and to scale the results. If you plug into a system, then you're good. Here's the kicker, y'all. Like I said, the reason number one is consistency and scalability. You are only you. There's only 24 hours in a day. And here's a quote that I saw that'll help you. Consistency, not talent, is the key to success. Talent is a gift, but consistency is an achievement. And systems can be consistent. When you plug into a system, your talent, you don't, when you plug into a system, if you're tired one day, it's okay. Guess what? The system will still run, right? It's fine. The system will continue to operate and you will have no issues, right? Reason number two why you need to focus on leveraging a system instead of just solely relying on your talent. Reason number two is efficiency and time management. Systems can help a person manage your time a whole lot more efficiently. Here's a quote from Peter Drucker. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. And so I realized that if you don't have a system, like for example, uh, using a system to manage your money, using a system to think about how much automation is happening today. System for emails, system for how you go about handling, certain business things that you need to get done. Every business that you walk into has systems. And so the CEO or the owner of that company is not just relying on their talent, they're also relying on systems. If they need to know about where their cash flow is right now, they have a system for that. They can hit a couple of buttons and guess what? It'll pop out the information instead of them having to sit there and use a old school spreadsheet that where every day they tracking their accounts receivables and coming up with cash flow. Well, it's now a system. So the system allows them to be more efficient with their time. And I don't know about you, but none of us are getting more time. We don't go to work and they're like, "Oh, you get extra time, in your life for going to work." Although there is a old movie that was that did a play on that idea that instead of currency, time was the new currency. And it was Justin Timberlake and another girl, and I believe literally the movie was called Time. But it was a sci-fi movie. Anyway, the whole point is, um, you and I have to be willing to understand that the only thing that is expiring all the time is us and time. And so because of that we have to be more efficient and focus on our time management. What are you doing with your time? If we spend more than half our life at work, you you have missed out on a whole lot of stuff. Here's the thing that I realized, and this is another quote for y'all. I remember hearing this first time and it blew my mind. The man and woman who trade their time, who work all day, have no time to make money. The man and woman who work all day have no time to make money. What does that mean? That means they're not plugging into a system. All they're doing is trading their time for money. All they're doing is deploying their talent to some place to keep making trading their time for money and then being frustrated that they can't seem to make any more money. And they're saying there's no more opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities. But what we need to do is start finding that the opportunities is not in you trading your time for money somewhere else or splitting your time for money, like going to get a second job. I'm not saying sometimes you don't have to do that, but realize you're getting further away from the thing you're ultimately working for anyway, your family. You're getting further away from your wife, your children. That baby is only going to be five once. The first word's only going to happen once. That daughter going off to college only, or going to high school, only happens once. And if you miss all that because you were working, that's why, as a man, I'm gonna tell you, that's why most men get frustrated. It's not has nothing to do with um the relationship. It's more about the fact that I can't provide for you the way I want to. So I'm frustrated. So sometimes it may come off as he's got an attitude or whatever the case may be. But real men know, you take away our ability to be able to provide, oh, we're no good to nobody. That's what hurts worse. And but the problem is this model that we've been sold, which is, oh, just keep trading your time for money. Go find another job. Go find another job. And yes, we should all be constantly in working environments, increasing our earning potential. I agree with that. But we need to learn to find systems to plug into. Because if you can plug into a system that's actually working and scalable, guess what? You're good. So, reason number one, consistency and scalability, why you need to use a system, leverage a system in your life instead of solely on your talent. Reason number two is efficiency and time management for this. Reason number three to leverage a system than just solely your talent is because it reduces the reliance on the individual skills. How about that? Phil Jackson once said the strength of a team is each individual member. um I'm sorry, the strength of a team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. And I like that quote because what we forget is that yes, I have a talent, yes, you have a talent, yes, we have a skill. But sometimes the system is actually how many people, how many of us can work together and driven in one direction. The Bible says, one can send one to flight, but one can send 10,000 to flight, right? Like, it's about the idea of saying, look, as a community, we could do a whole lot more, but we got to have a system. We got to all be running in one direction. We have to be able to start looking at life, especially as an employee. We got to start looking at, instead of looking just for the next job, which again I still believe in, look for that upper opportunity for you to earn more money in corporate. That's great. But you should start looking at what systems could I start to leverage? What system would allow me to be able to not just deploy my talent, but I can use that system to increase my earning potential, even if I'm at my day job? What system could I use that could help me be able to reduce how much time it may take me to get things done? And maybe I can deploy that system for other people and earn additional revenue, right? What system can help me earn monthly revenue as opposed to just getting paid once a month? What system could potentially earn me enough money that my bonus that I get every year from my job pales in comparison because I can make that every single month because I plugged into a system? I think the employee revolution is the fact that we have technology all around us now. We have the ability to make money on our day job and find systems that we can plug into and increase our earning potential while also at a day job. That's just my belief. You don't have to believe that, but that's just my belief. It's amazing to me that when we look at the way life is going right now financially, it's costing $700 more per family a month just to run your household. I shared with you the stat earlier from Bankrate. More people, less people, 45% sharp decline of new home buyers. Why? Because it's affordability, y'all. And I think as an employee, we've got to change our mental model. That's what I've gone through. I've had to suck it up and realize that the dream I was sold back in the 90s didn't work for 2023 as fast as technology worked. I had to accept that. That's not a school problem. That's not a Republican problem. That's not a Democrat problem. That's not an independent problem. That's not a Christian problem. That's not a Jewish problem. You know what that problem is? That's an individual Chris Williams problem, that I got to accept the reality of life financially. I can't run from it, and I also can't make it somebody else's problem. No, what I can do is look at the real reality of the landscape and go, you know what? The truth of the matter is, I need to leverage systems instead of just relying on my talent. And I need to start looking at opportunities. Yes, still continue to look at opportunities, um, to increase your income for a day job. That's fair. Always do that. But you should also be looking at what systems could I plug into? Where are the systems that are easiest to leverage right now, day one, that I don't have to go learn and spend 6 months? And what systems could I use right now today that I don't need a certification for? And immediately improve my income ability. What systems could I use in order to be like, that's the type of thinking. If you work a day job, I'm sorry, that was the biggest revelation to me. It's not. And then guess what? Here, you know what? I'm gonna give you this bonus one. It's not my job's fault if I don't choose to go learn that. How about that? It's not my job's fault. My job is not responsible for making me rich. But some of us believe that. It is my job has zero to do with Chris Williams' financial health. Zero. They provide me an opportunity to walk in there, get paid for my time, and that's okay. But they're not responsible for me getting financially literate. They're not responsible for my real estate understanding. They're not responsible for me to learn financial systems. They're not responsible for me to take time and understand exactly what I should be doing to improve my financial health. They're that is not my job's responsibility at all. But some of us want to abdicate responsibility so that way we can point to our job and say it's their fault that I don't have this. No, that's not their fault. They gave you an opportunity to work to make money. It is your responsibility, my responsibility as an employee, to use that job as a stepping stone to getting all the other things that I ultimately want. And by the way, it's okay to have a high paying job. I know people that are making two, three, four, $500,000 a year. And guess what? They're happy. Cool. You found your nirvana. But I'm gonna tell you right now, $500,000 a year today versus $500,000 10 years ago is completely different because it costs more just to live. If you're making $80,000 a year today, you are feeling cash strapped. If you're making $100,000 a year today, it hurts. You feel it. It's different. You don't believe me? How much are eggs right now? Oh, they're $10. 2.5 years ago, they were 6. You think eggs is the only thing that went up? Meat went up. The cost of goods, everything went up. Your credit card interest rates are always fluctuating. So it costs more to have access to that capital. Yo, my point is, you need a system. You got to find you a system. Don't let 2024 happen and you still are walking around angry with the world for what you're not willing to either accept or go learn. You have Don't you have this? You have a phone. You have the internet. You're watching this through a device that you pay for every month. If you choose to use that device all day long to watch TikTok, that's on you. If you choose to spend all your time on that device gossiping, that's on you. If you choose to watch YouTube all day of stuff that ain't helping you grow or whatever, then that's on you. If you choose to stay closed-minded to opportunities where systems exist right in your face and you don't want to learn about it, that is nobody else's fault. That is yours and mine. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not that guy. I am saying we gotta learn to plug into systems, y'all. Systems is what that's the ultimate leverage financially. If you work a day job, it's the ultimate leverage. It's not your talent. It's not your talent. Your talent will help you, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it is important. My wife just said most families need an additional $700 a month just to maintain the lifestyle they had before. Y'all, an extra $700 a month. Let's just go ahead and do the math on 700 times 12. That's $8,400 a month you got to find from somewhere. If you bought a house for $200,000, right, back 10 years ago, okay? Your mortgage was one thing back then and you felt good. Everything is feeling tight right now and it's because everything went up. Interest rates, everything else, and the cost of you just living. So an extra $700 a month. So if you were bringing home $3,000 a month, right? It's costing more. Maybe you had an extra, I don't know, $500 left after you paid all your bills. That $500 now is wiped out. So we gotta start. We can't make our financial health everybody else's responsibility. And I'm about to say something, and it's probably gonna make some of y'all mad, but just let's just be real. It's not whoever the president is. It's not their fault either. It's just not. I Because guess what? Here's what's crazy. I'm gonna prove it to you. You know why I know it's not the president's fault? It doesn't matter who's in the seat. You know how I know? Because right, this is election season is coming up, so that's why I'm bringing this up, right? But while election season is happening, right after election has happened in November, and after all of that's said and done, it's people that's going to be building their businesses. It's going to be people making a ton of money. It's going to be people, you're going to be watching interviews with people who like, well, how did you do it? Well, I started this business and I started working here and I leveraged the system and I scaled it. You going to be like, wow, that's such a cool story. Never putting yourself in the middle of that story. So it doesn't matter. What matters is, what are you and I doing with the time that we have to learn about what systems we can plug into? There are all types of systems out here that you and I, as an employee, should be leveraging. And by the way, some of them will go against everything you were taught by grandma, auntie, uncle, them, and your schooling. Yes, even your schooling will, yes, some of it will go against all of that. You know why? Because my wife's been an entrepreneur ever since I've known her. Um, and came from corporate. You know what's crazy? This is what's wild. When you meet a lot of entrepreneurs and you talk to them, I promise you, they sing, dance, and move to a very different drum than what's being projected on in media. I promise you that. Go down the street and ask the guy that runs the restaurant. Go ask the girl who's running the dry cleaners. Go ask the people that run that auto shop down the street. They move to a different drum beat. It's not what the media sells us. Like I don't know. I'm giving y'all what I learned. I'm not saying you got to take it. You could just throw this to the side. I am saying I realized, if you go talk to people, go ask your neighbor who all of a sudden, life seems to be good. Go talk to the people in your community. Go ask your friends. Go find from the people who are actually doing well, not the people who are making it look good. I'm talking about, like, just that life is good and they're adjusting. Yeah, everybody's gonna feel a pinch, but go talk to some people and ask them, well, what did you do? I guarantee they have a system in place somewhere. Something, meaning, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Real estate. Real estate is a system. So they're going to work every day and they're directing some of their funds towards real estate, which is a system. So they used real estate, and over time, no matter what happened with their job, no matter what happened with inflation, no matter what happened, whatever, they're still collecting monthly reoccurring revenue off of the system of real estate. And within real estate, it's a ton of stuff I'm still learning about. But there's wholesaling, so they can niche down into that. They can do residential. They can do buy and holds. They can do fix and flips, right? But my point is, they plugged into a system. They didn't just solely rely on their talent and their day job to make ends meet. They plugged into a system. That you get what I'm saying? So while some people go to work every day and they a little worried about their job right now because things are getting tight, lots of layoffs and slashes and everything else, there's some folks going, I'll be actually okay. I think I'll be all right. It'll hurt a little bit, but I'll be okay. Because they plugged into a system. And so I'm just saying, like, you and I need to look in all the systems. Look in real estate. Look in direct sales. Look in, like, just go look. Give you Let me put it this way. Give yourself permission to think beyond what you've been taught all your life. Be open to what's possible just past what your comfort zone says. Where you feel yourself internally scream, you should go right beyond that. That's where you learn the most, right? And so we all need to be plugging into systems. You and I have to You and I have to do a better job financially of not abdicating responsibility and making it a red or a blue problem or a purple problem. I think independence of purple, right? A purple problem. It's not grandma problem. It's not my school problem. It's not my debt problem. No, it's no one else's problem but mine, because it's not like I don't have access to information. It's what am I willing to unlearn, accept that I probably was taught wrong. And by the way, two things can be true at the same time. It is true what you learned about, or what we learned as employees when we first started working. That is true. But it's also true times have changed. It's also true technology has advanced. It's also true that now more than ever, solely relying on uh, uh, one way of doing something doesn't work, especially your talent alone. But y'all, I just wanted to share this, man. Like, y'all, we have to do a better job and be honest with ourselves, and accept that we don't know everything. But then right after that, don't have a pity party about it. It's okay. You and I need to look at systems. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. That's literally all I wanted to share today. But I realized, like, for me, um, like, I'm looking at some systems right now, some things, and I'm like, I wish I would have done it years ago. But yeah, man, like, it blows my mind how much I wish I would have known. And I didn't waste time. I did with what I knew best to do in the time at that moment, right? Until I gave myself permission to learn something new and go try that. So don't feel like you wasted your time. You're not late. You're not missing the boat. I'm not that guy. Like, I don't believe, when people are like, "Oh, you're late. You should have got here in the beginning." No, that's not true. You can start right now and do what you need to do. We're seeing that all the time. You know what's crazy? I saw also another stat. The average millionaire becomes a millionaire in their 50s. Wild. Average. I'm not talking about all these little stories that you read about. This person made this and this person made that. Yeah, that happens. But I'm talking about the average person, right? Not the blip that happens on the screen all the time. Listen, man, when you learn something new, you can't start like kicking yourself because, well, man, I wish I would have knew this sooner. Well, no, you found out now. So go do something with what you just learned, right? I'm telling you, maybe today you never thought about as an employee, maybe I should be using systems instead of being complaining about I can't find another job. Well, cool. Well, then go do something about it. Go plug into a system. Go learn about different systems, how they work. And by the way, do it without judgment. That was the other thing I had to do. I had to look at systems and stop using my assumptive nature. I'm sorry, it wasn't my assumptive nature. I had to be open to looking at systems, giving myself permission to look at systems without judgment based on what I heard, because I really didn't know. But between my assumptive nature and my fear, I would form a idea, and that's what would keep me from learning about that thing, not knowing that thing would change my financial picture. It's crazy how life is like that, right? As a man, I'm gonna tell you the male part. We're frustrated financially because the things we want to do for our wife or our children, we can't financially do. That's where the frustration lies. It's not it's not the present and the toy. Oh, I got to get the perfect gift. No, it's not that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. As a man, I can go ask my wife. She could tell me like what the female version of that would be, or maybe it's universal. I want to be in position financially where when I see it, I can grab it and not think about it. That's why we get frustrated. So what we do is we keep ourselves from dreaming and seeing those things because we're trying to resolve our ability, or we're trying to resolve internal frustration. So we remove ourselves from anything that'll either give us hope or cause us to dream. So I can go further, right? The next layer is, as a dad, as a husband, as a father, we want to get our family the things that we want to give to them. And we want to give not because even they deserve it, but because we want to be in a position. We are givers by nature as men. I don't believe, yeah, there's a lot of terrible men that represent malehood bad. I ain't talking to them. I'm talking about the guys who really own their game, right? Like, we want to give because we want to give, period. We want to see that smile on her face. We want to see them enjoy. We want to go out to the restaurant. We want to go to the steak restaurant and act like it's going to Golden Corral. You see what I'm saying? Like, meaning we want our financial picture to be so good that we like, yo, man, it don't matter. Wherever we want to go, wherever my wife want to go, yo, that's where we at. I want to take my daughter over to this nice expense. Cool. I'm saying that's why we get frustrated, right? Now, as a parent, yes, it's also a part of that because you're like, man, I want to give my kids the best, right? Um, uh, that becomes important from the when they're young all the way to going to college. Like now, we got two boys in college, and it's a blessing to be able to say that our son is at one of the most prestigious colleges, that I've really come across. And I ain't seen them all, but this one, my God, it's awesome, right? He goes to High Point University, like it's freaking crazy, incredible school. But I think about, man, it wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't looked at some systems, if I hadn't paid attention to some stuff, if my wife didn't have to, get me to stop and look and pay attention, right? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Um, as a society, right? You go even further. So as a father, as a parent in your community, we get frustrated when we look at certain things that are happening right in our city, right in our neighborhood that we can't fix. And we like, man, I wish I had yeah, I take care of that. Yeah, you would love to be able to say, y'all remember, New Jack City, terrible reference, but the whole point is Nino pulled up with a truckload of turkeys, right? Like we want to be able to do that. We want to be able to pull up in our old neighborhoods and be like, yo, back up the truck. I saw shout out to Wallow and Gilly. Every year they go to Target and they go to Walmart and they give $20,000. $20,000. They pull up and they say, yo, you got a $20,000, go crazy. And they let the families that are in there just shop. That's the kind of stuff we want to be able to do, right? Like that's the stuff that ultimately you want to be able to get done. Because, but again, you got to plug into a system. I don't think there's no other way right now. You could play the lottery and I'm okay, get it. Okay, fine. But your chances of hitting the lottery, you better plug into a system. You have a much better chance of making much more money over your lifetime if you plug into a system than you will ever hit in the lottery. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Some people play the insurance game, right? That's a system. You can leverage insurance for different things. There's a lot of stuff in insurance I've learned about that I didn't know about. So you could play it, you could learn about how insurance works and the things that you could leverage insurance for. Insurance is a system. Wealthy people use insurance to build their wealth. Some of it might sound crazy to some people when I say that out loud, but when you learn what they're doing, they use insurance to do that stuff. These policies, they've learned the game, right? So my point is you and I have to figure something. We have to do something different than just continuing to trade our time for money. I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna get off now because I need to spend some time with my wife. Uh, she's had a long week. She's been crushing it this week with a lot of different things that she's been doing. So, man, y'all have a great day. I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know down in the comments what part. What are you going to be doing? How are you going to be focused? What are you going to do differently? You don't even know if you're going to make it that long. Start today, right? Like look into systems today. Start paying attention today. Give yourself permission to think outside of your comfort zone today, right? If you're watching the replay, type replay down in the comments. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day, everybody. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.